Hi, I'm Matthew Moore. I'm a QA lead with ArenaNet, and you're watching Gaming Insight.
Hi, I'm Stéphane Presti, a French community manager at ArenaNet, and you're watching Gaming Insight. So, Guildwars2 starts 250 years after the original Guild Wars in the same world of Tyria, except the world has been changed by a set of dragons called the Elder Dragons, very powerful forces of nature that's awoken from a very long sleep. And in their wake up, they are literally changing the world, making a lot of things happen that are very bad for the different races of Tyria. And you will play with Guildwars2 one of the 5 races. We give you the choice between playing a human, a Char, an Azura, a Norn, or Silvari. So we give you a choice, a lot of choice in terms of whatever you want to do, which part of the fight you want to fight yourself in the world of Tyria.
So the Char, the Char are one of the antagonists of the first game of the original Guild Wars. They were the bad guys. There are a number of people who still carry with them hatred of the Char from their days fighting in Ascalon. But in the second game, there are greater evils in the world, and we've given the Char more of a backstory to make them a more sympathetic race. Hopefully to bring around some of those people who spent many thousands of hours killing Char. And so now the 5 major races of Tyria need to get together in order that they can fight the Elder Dragons, which are a much greater threat than any petty squabbling over who owned what land first.
I want also to add that we've designed Guildwars2 so that you don't need to have played Guild Wars. So it's really something if you start with Guildwars2, if it's the first game you're going to play from our games, you will understand all this backstory. It's told to you in the game. Within the game, all these things will be told to you. You will understand the context from just playing Guildwars2.
Guild Wars 2, the 2 is important because Guild Wars 2 is breaking off from many conventions from the first game. It won't be necessary for you to have played any of the first 3 Guild Wars games or any of the expansions in order to understand and appreciate the world of Guild Wars 2, because we're starting fresh. And that was the whole reason why we started Guild Wars 2 rather than making another expansion. Guild Wars 2 diverges in that the world of Tyria is now a truly open MMO world. It's persistent, where all of the different players who are participating play at once, rather than in Guild Wars, the original Guild Wars, which we considered a cooperative RPG, where people would enter instance content together in smaller parties. We still have instancing in Guild Wars 2, but it's used to tell a wonderful personal story. It's one of the major pillars of Guild Wars 2 is that we want to develop a personal story that's as good as any single player RPG that you can come to, and even if you barely participate in any of the dynamic events or the PvP, if you just want to pick one of the 5 major races, make some choices about your backstory, and make important choices as you go through your personal story to the end, to the inevitable fight with the Elder Dragons, that should be an incredibly satisfying experience for you. And with the number of options, even starting with the very different 5 races to pick from, you should be able to replay that personal story any number of times in hundreds of different ways. The choices that people make during character creation will change their story right from the very beginning, no matter which race they select. Each race has different options. For example, for the humans, it's a question about how you were born. Were you born on the streets? Were you born as a commoner? Were you born into nobility? And right from the beginning, that changes how your character approaches the problems of the human area, the problems of Divinity's Reach. Whereas for the Char, the really important part of their world is which legion you are a member of. I'm sorry, I totally blanked out. It's very early in the morning. What's important for the Char is what Legion you're a member of, the Blood Legion, the Iron Legion, or the Ash Legion. It's not that they don't work together as a collective Char society, but the way that they approach the problems is very different. And so if you choose to be a more sneaky, behind-the-scenes, sort of ninja-esque Char, then you'll go for the Ash Legion. If you like just getting into the thick of combat, you'll probably aim for more of the Flame Legion. If you like to be emboldened by weapons of war and tanks and whatever, you'll take the Iron Legion, and that'll change your story right from the very beginning, because the way that the storyline will progress will depend on what approach you've chosen to follow by picking your backstory.